Welcome to Week 11 of the Iowa Conference Series here on YouTube. It's been a fantastic season so far, and we are somehow winding down. Only 3 games remaining for all of our teams. Before we get into this week's schedule, let's take a look at a massive award for Jaron Sunday of Starmont. Once again, he is your National Offensive Player of the Week. He had 26 carries for 157 yards and 3 touchdowns, added 9 catches for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win against Solon. So a big award for Jaron Sunday of Starmont. And before we get into this week's matchups, let's go ahead and recap last week's results. First of all, in non-conference action, Williamsburg falls to Liberty 32-30 at home. It's a big win for Grundy Center on the road as they beat Iowa City West 26-17. The Spartans now just 1 game away from bowl eligibility. In the national game of the week, Don Bosco holds on and scores a touchdown with a minute to go in the game to beat Cedar Falls 31-28. Dons are up to number 5 in the top 25 polls. Tigers at number 16. Waverly-Shell Rock goes on the road and beats Waterloo East 42-24. Cedar Rapids Kennedy beats Cedar Rapids Prairie in an in-city rivalry 36-27. Number 2 Starmont rolled past Solon 56-14. And in Central City, the Wildcats got their third win of the year, 31-17 over Gladbrook-Reinbeck. And here in Week 11, all 4 conference teams are in action. We should have some fantastic matchups as we really start to wind down the season. Every win is a little more crucial here in this part of the season. So let's go ahead and get to the field. We'll start in Arlington at Starmont High School. 2-ranked Starmont back at home hosting Iowa City West. Fitzgerald looking for Baxter, but it's tipped and intercepted just shy of the goal line by the Iowa City West Trojans, and a big return here. Past the 50, to the 30, to the 20. A huge start for Iowa City West. They're on a 5-game skid, but they come out big here to start against number 2 in the nation. It's a pick 6 for C.C. McKenzie, and Iowa City West strikes first, leading 7-0 here. Starmont trying to get back on track, and here comes the Heisman hopeful Jaron Sunday, and moves like that is why he's up for that award. Couple of big moves on that run down to the 25-yard line. And then they fake it to him. Play action pass. Fitzgerald finds the fullback DeMarcus Gaskins, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. Starmont gets on the board, and they knot this one up at 7 apiece. Good response from the Stars after the big mistake. Now they're back down 14-7, but a nice connection here to Michael Hilton. That's been Fitzgerald's favorite target all season long as they continue to move down the field. And right there, Fitzgerald goes over 3,000 passing yards for a team this run-heavy. That's impressive. He's had a nice season as Sunday gets back into the end zone, and this one's knotted up at 7 apiece. Jaron Sunday simply having a phenomenal year for Starmont as they are tied at 14. Closing in on halftime here, Sunday back to it, and they are not tied anymore. Touchdown Starmont as they take their first lead of the day here with 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Stars up 21-14. And they're trying to get back on the board before the break, and they would do just that. A big run there by Sunday as he gets into the end zone once again. Having a great first half, several touchdowns already. As the Stars lead 28-14 at the break, now lead by just 1 touchdown as they bad throw there for Fitzgerald. Looked like some miscommunication with Hilton as they can't hook up, and it's another pick for the Trojans. Big play there as they have a chance to tie the football game here with a touchdown. Starmont up by just a single score here, 28-21, but City West could not score. And here's a deep shot. That's more like it for Hilton as he is there for the touchdown. That's that Fitzgerald to Hilton connection we know so well as Starmont goes back up by 2 scores here, 35-21 your score. And now moving ahead to the fourth quarter, it's back to a 1-touchdown game, 35-28, but a phenomenal grab there by Hilton as Fitzgerald led him perfectly. And the Stars just keep responding. Iowa City West isn't quitting in this one, but Starmont keeps bouncing back. Again, just up 1 touchdown now, but Fitzgerald going back to the end zone and back to Hilton, another massive grab as Starmont takes another 2-score advantage. Iowa City West just can't seem to get this one tied up. Again, they're back within a single score, but that's the dagger. With less than 2 minutes to play in the game, it's another 2-score advantage for Starmont. And despite a great effort by Iowa City West, they hold on in this one and move to 10-0 in the year. They're just 2 wins away from a perfect season, regular season anyways, as we head over to Waterloo as Don Bosco takes on Waterloo Columbus. And here comes Zion Haywood in the rain. Oh, look at that hurdle by Haywood. He had a nice game again last week in the win against Cedar Falls, looking to do the same here this week. And they go back to Haywood, and he goes into the end zone. Touchdown Dons as my Don Bosco Dons strike first here at TJ McLaughlin Field. They lead 7-0 here in the first quarter of play in Waterloo. Just a short trip over from Gilbertville. Waterloo Columbus looking to get something going, but look out, that's nearly a safety as Marcus Kilgo knocks him down at the 1-yard line. He's had a phenomenal season defensively. The Sailors would have to punt, and Jerron Sunday, he's got one punt return touchdown in the year so far, and he's got all sorts of room here. Just has the punter to beat, tries to juke him, he can't do so, and he slows him down enough to at least have his buddies help make the stop. But a big return there by Sunday, and he would get the pitch from Jackson and go into the end zone here, as he does end up scoring a touchdown in this drive a few plays after the near punt return touchdown. As Jerron Sunday gets into the end zone, 2 running backs have scored already for the Dons as they lead 14-0. Last play of the first quarter here, as it's going to be a play-action pass, and here comes Duncan Stockton and Marcus Kilgo for that matter. It's the sophomore Stockton that gets back there. Dons lead 14-0 after a dominant quarter. Their football once again. Jackson sends it across the middle to Braylon Seymour, who's got it down to the 20, jukes to the 15, and now down to the 10-yard line. He's having a really nice last couple of games, scored the game-winning touchdown last week, and from a yard out, Sunday is into the end zone. Jerron Sunday having a nice day here. Of course, the backup to Zion Haywood, the Heisman hopeful, but Sunday's a pretty good back in his own right, assuming Haywood goes pro next year. Sunday's going to have a pretty big role next season for the Dons. Deep shot here for the Sailors, but that's intercepted. Mel Wilson-Morel has been such a good defensive player for the Dons this season. Makes another pick. He's got a bunch of them this year. As he gets it back to the Don Bosco offense, and Taven Jackson reads the keep option here on the read option play, and he's got a massive gain. Finally goes out to the 14-yard line. Big play there for Don Bosco as Taven Jackson gets it done with his legs. And then he gives it back to Zion Haywood. Nobody's going to even touch him. He's into the end zone, struts his way into the goal line. Don Bosco just dominant so far in this one. They hold a commanding lead over the Waterloo Columbus Sailors, 28-0. Sailors trying to get something going here before the break, but that's not the answer as Danny Powers picks it off. He's had such an impressive season. I've mentioned before, but he's a converted linebacker who they moved to safety for his senior year, and he's done such a nice job, really strived in that role. He gets another pick right there. He had the game-winning pick last week. Jackson taking a deep shot here before the break, and he finds C.J. Major, who crosses the goal line for a touchdown. And Don Bosco is doing everything right so far. They lead 35-0 at the break, and Waterloo Columbus just simply doesn't have an answer. Kind of a slow third quarter, so we'll advance to the fourth, and that's another pick. The redshirt freshman getting the start here again, David Batista with the pick. And he's got a nice return all the way down to the 39-yard line before the quarterback finally tackles him. Batista's having a real nice redshirt freshman season. As Don Bosco gets the football back, it's a give to Haywood, who makes a couple of moves. He's got some room. Great block there. Didn't see which receiver that was, but he took care of 2 defenders by himself. And if you do that for Haywood, he's got a pretty good shot. He's into the end zone for the Don Bosco touchdown as they lead 42-0 over the Sailors. 4 minutes and change to play in the game. Columbus with the football back once again, but this is a mistake, and that's 2 more points. A safety for Marcus Kilgo, his second safety of the season, as he gets the sack in the end zone, and it's a 44-0 Don Bosco lead. And here comes Anwar Johnson, who's going to make a juke move. He's got a chance to go all the way, and he will. Touchdown Dons. Anwar Johnson, the third string back. He scored his first career touchdown last week. That's his first career rushing touchdown. That was a receiving touchdown last week. And Don Bosco did not have to struggle at all in this one as they win 51-0 over Columbus. The Dons are cruising. They still just have the one loss on the year. Now let's head over to Grundy County as Cedar Falls takes on Gladbrook-Reinbeck. First play from scrimmage. We'll see you later. Terrence Weeks is going to go 81 yards to the house. Deshaun Wheeler found his man wide open, and that's a touchdown for Cedar Falls. Not a bad start for the Tigers, I think it's fair to say. They take a 7-0 lead over Gladbrook-Reinbeck. The Rebels trying to get something going here. But that's a whole bunch of trouble back there. And eventually it is William McSimmons that gets back there for the sack. Rebels forced to try a field goal, but they pull it wide to the right. A long try is no good. And it stays 7-0 Cedar Falls. That sack proves to be important there. Wheeler in the pocket, has plenty of time, gets rid of it. It's caught by Greenwell Jr., who breaks a tackle and is finally taken down at the 9-yard line. The Tigers throwing it all around the yard so far in this one. As this time they're going to go on the ground. This is Ethan Hooks, and he's going to go into the end zone for the Cedar Falls touchdown. Big play there for Hooks as he scores. He's had a great season for the Tigers, scored all sorts of touchdowns. They lead 14-0. And Hooks says, why not another? He's back into the end zone this time from just a yard out. Gladbrook-Reinbeck with no answer for the Cedar Falls offense to this point. Tigers take a 21-0 lead. Now they're on 2nd and goal. Back to the goal line, into the touchdown to the tight end, Jay Kumar, as he's into the end zone. 28-0 Cedar Falls. The Tigers just outclassing Gladbrook-Reinbeck so far in this one. Shortly before the half, Wheeler again trying to go to the end zone, and he does just that. It's Terrence Weeks' second touchdown grab of this opening half of football, and it's a dominant 35-0 advantage at the halfway point of this game. The Rebels would get one touchdown here, but there's a big mistake for Wheeler as he's picked off by Gladbrook-Reinbeck. Greenwell makes the tackle inside the 5-yard line, but the Rebels set up to try to add some more points to this one, try to make it a competitive game here late, and they would be able to get into the end zone there. The mistake from Wheeler resulted in a Gladbrook-Reinbeck touchdown, but the Tiger offense said, hey, check this out, and they make their way methodically down the field as Hooks finishes it off with a touchdown run. He's had several here today. He's having a really nice ball game as it's 42-14. And oh, by the way, the Tigers can also have a pick, and they can do one better. They're going to go to the end zone. That's Quentin Luther on the 24-yard pick six, as Cedar Falls has a big defensive play of their own, and this one is out of hand here in Gladbrook as the Rebels are going to fall to 3-7 here if Cedar Falls continues to pack on the points. There's another touchdown for Hooks. He's been phenomenal today. Really nice effort from him in this one. And Cedar Falls is going to walk out of here with a 56-14 victory. Truly a dominant showing from the Tigers as they have 2 losses on the year is all. They're 8-2. Over to Waverly where Jaquil Anderson, well, that's kind of the signature go-to move on the goal line for for Waverly-Shell Rock. As Anderson's back into the end zone, the Go-Hawks lead 7-0. But Prairie driving down to the 17-yard line here on 3rd down. They strike one towards the end zone, and it's going to be a touchdown for Prairie as the Hawks are on the board. We're tied at 7 here after a quarter at Go-Hawk Stadium in Waverly. Cedar Rapids Prairie trying to get bowl eligible with a win here today, and on 4th and 1, they stuff the Waverly-Shell Rock offense. It's going to be a turnover on downs. But look out, here comes that defensive pressure for the Go-Hawks. The football comes loose. That's a massive loss as DeQuincy Boone came in for the sack on that one. Loss of 18 on 1st down. Waverly-Shell Rock down to the 14-yard line trying to get in the end zone. Hermanson not seeing anything. He's going to look to take off. Has it to the 10. 5 touchdown dives across the goal line as Waverly-Shell Rock reclaims the lead here. 14-7 over Cedar Rapids Prairie. Just under 3 minutes to go until the break. But Prairie, going back to the air, has a man, and that's going to be another Prairie touchdown as Prairie's having a really good effort here so far. They knot this ball game up at 14 just before the half. Prairie, no slouch here today. They're playing pretty well, tied at 14. But Waverly-Shell Rock will try a quick field goal here before the half. That one from the right hash is up. It is good as Waverly-Shell Rock takes a 17-14 lead, and that would be your score as they go to the locker room. Second half now, Prairie trying to tie the game with a field goal of their own, but it's going to be blocked. Perfectly timed there by the Go-Hawk defense as that field goal is blocked, and it stays a 3-point Waverly-Shell Rock lead on the blocked kick. Back to the Go-Hawk offense now on 4th and a yard. It's the signature pop pass, and that's a huge gain for Keon Maddox all the way down to the 4-yard line. They called that play at a good time there. And they're going to go to Brett Dubose, who's going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. The Waverly-Shell Rock running back crosses the goal line, and they extend their lead now 24-14 as they make it a 2-possession football game here with 2 minutes to play in the third. Waverly-Shell Rock trying to extend that lead here even further now, and they do just that on this 13-yard touchdown run. The Go-Hawk offense really starting to come into their own here in the second half of this game as they extend the lead even further over Prairie, now 31-14 after the extra point. Prairie offense trying to get something going. Thrown across the middle, but that's a mistake as it's intercepted. There's plenty of room to run to the 15, 10, 5, nearly a pick six, all the way down to the 3-yard line for Waverly-Shell Rock. That was almost 6 for the Go-Hawks, but it wouldn't take long to get those 6 points as a 3-yard touchdown run gets the Waverly-Shell Rock Go-Hawks back on the board. As now it's starting to turn into a blowout here at Go-Hawk Stadium as they take a big advantage, 38-14. Prairie desperate now with just 3 minutes to go in the game, and that's a mistake as Dontrell Brockwell, the fantastic safety for the Go-Hawks, picks it off. He's got all sorts of room to return, taken down after crossing the midfield stripe down to the 46-yard line. Waverly-Shell Rock gets the football back with less than 3 minutes to play in the game, and Dubose would finish the drive from 2 yards out at the 2-yard Waverly-Shell Rock touchdown run. The Go-Hawks extending their lead further, really pulling away late in this one. Dubose, really nice player for the Go-Hawks this season, as he scores once again. Prairie trying to get something going here late in the football game. Deep throw, and that's going to be picked off. It's Brockwell once again, his second interception here late in the game. Breaking tackles at the 10, 5 and taken down at the 2-yard line. A big pick there, nearly a pick six once again. As the Go-Hawks get it at the 2-yard line, and just like they started the game, they will end with a Jaqueel Anderson fullback plunge into the end zone, and Waverly-Shell Rock dominates in this one. They end up blowing out Prairie late after it looked a little dicey there for a bit. 52-14 your final score. What an effort from Waverly-Shell Rock. And before we finish up this episode, let's take a final look at our standings here with just 2 weeks remaining in the regular season. Starmont improves their record in the conference to 9-0. They are 10-0 in overall play here in the regular season, so Starmont is guaranteed a spot in the conference championship game, as they only have one game remaining and they hold a head-to-head advantage over both Waverly-Shell Rock and Don Bosco. Cedar Falls is 2 games back and cannot catch the Stars, so Starmont should officially be headed to that conference title game. Waverly-Shell Rock is 8-1 in the conference, 9-1 overall. Don Bosco 7-1, also 9-1 overall. And Cedar Falls sits at 6-2. They are 8-2 overall this regular season. So that's going to do it for this episode. We're going to have some more fantastic Iowa Conference action here on the next episode. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back here and see you then next time. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.